Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to SSG Speaks, the podcast that takes you inside the walls of Camelot. Meet the knights that made Sword and Shield gaming what it is. So pour yourself a flask of your favorite mead and join us for an inside look at the fine folks that sit at the round table.
Okay, well, welcome to SSG Speaks. This is episode number 7. I'm your host, SSG J-Man. I am here with, man, I don't even know your name anymore. It's going to be SSG Mania. So the problem is, you know, we've hit this point where I know everybody's real names, and so I intermingle people's names. Even when I like go to type out on my phone, I keep mixing back and forth, and we're just too good of friends. That's the problem. Well, it doesn't matter because we're here to interview IrishFighter today. So, Irish, we are going to start things off. First of all, let's say welcome. So, welcome, guys. I don't want to be the one.
You. No, I'll let Irish take it away. By the way, and it's perfectly fine if people know my real name. It's Eric. If you want to remember it, that's fine. If you don't, I go by Mania as well. Going to a couple of lands will get you used to hearing your gamer tag in real life.
It really does. But, you know, I don't know. It's like one of the things of being in a clan and playing with these people for so long. You hear people's names either because other people know them, or because you just get to be good enough friends with that person and you find out their names, and especially now with Facebook and everything else. But yeah, I mean, I think SSG was definitely one of the first ones that I've seen where we just kind of intermingle people's names all the time, especially for new people. I bet that can be a little jarring because they're like, wait, who's Eric? There's no Eric, SSG Eric on here.
No, exactly. And I hit the same thing. But without further ado, Irish, he's with us here, and I'll let him introduce himself a little bit.
Thank you. Yep, IrishFighter. My name's Sean, if anyone cares to know that. I think probably the only one that really calls me that is my brother Jake, or Code Monkey. Simian Chaos. He changes it, I don't know, every few years.
Yeah, we had him on a couple episodes ago, and it seems like he's gone through quite an evolution of a couple of names. So, and it's funny because his names always end up surprising people because people don't necessarily recognize him.
I'll admit, I didn't know what his new gamer tag was until I heard that episode. There was no announcement or anything. I was like, oh, that's who the Simian guy is. Okay.
Yeah, we should really put a message out every time somebody changes their name. So, is your brother? So, is it safe to assume that that's how you kind of got into the clan, or how you at least how you found out about it, or got interested in it?
Yeah, I think it originally happened back in, I want to say Halo 2. He started playing with a lot of you guys, back of the OG people, and I want to say I was probably like 13 or 14, and I think he just kind of slipped me into the clan, and I became a knight. And I had a super deep voice back then for a 13 or 14-year-old kid, and I think I just kind of slipped in unnoticed, and so I've been in ever since.
Yeah, we've always had a rule of 20 plus, and so we've let a couple people slip in the cracks younger. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you were 15 when you got in, which, you know, I mean, that says a lot about your maturity at 15 anyway, because that was kind of one of our biggest issues. We just didn't want, you know, some of the drama and stuff like that associated with the younger crowd.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, I mean, 15, that's a little bit more of a slip. Like, we're going to need to see some ID, Irish.
He's 16 now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, while we're on the topic of, you know, what we call you being IrishFighter, is there a history to that gamer tag?
So I originally picked, I think it was like IrishFighter 76 because my football number was 76, and I've always been a Notre Dame fan.
And
so
that explains your Discord emblem.
Yep. So
with the Irishman.
It's kind of always been a revolution of something IrishFighter.
Okay, that's cool.
So you played football in high school? Did you play in college then too?
Yeah, so I played football for, I want to say it was like 13 years. I played, you know, Little League, high school. Then I got a scholarship to a junior college. Ended up at some point and through high school and college, I broke both of my ankles and messed up my knee. I tore my LCL.
Oh, wow.
And so kind of just ended up having to call it quits after a while. It was just a lot of getting beat up. I thought it was kind of time to move on.
Body.
Yep.
For sure. If you could go back and do it again, would you still sign up for football and play, and even with the risk of that injury?
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right.
I mean, I have guys that I've been friends with since I was 6 years old because of football, and so all of us are just. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No, it's definitely cool. I mean, let's keep going with this outside of gaming thing. What's any good hobbies that you like to enjoy?
I mean, I would say gaming's my primary hobby, when you want to let off some steam. But I used to ride dirt bikes for a bit, played pretty much every sport, did wrestling in high school, won a state championship wrestling, did track and
Do
field.
you have a championship?
Oh yeah. I was a state champ. I was 17 and 1 my senior year.
Ooh,
Nice.
And the kid that I lost to was the kid I pinned in the state finals, so I didn't feel that bad about it.
You got your revenge, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
So you ended up, you got in early, right? You stuck in under the age limit, but then you took an emeritus break.
Yeah.
So was that for school then, I guess?
No, actually, after I decided to kind of call it quits with football, I actually served a LDS mission for my church.
Uh-huh.
So you basically go away for 2 years. I don't know if Jake or Code Monkey talked about it. He did too. Basically go for 2 years and knock on people's doors and be super annoying.
So, wow, it's 2 years, huh?
Yep, 2 years. So didn't play games or anything for really 2 years, and then came back and jumped right back in.
Oh, that's cool. Where did you end up going on your LDS mission?
So it was all around British Columbia. So kind of got to see a little
That's
bit
not
of
a
Canada.
bad place to be.
Oh
No,
no,
that's
super
not bad at all.
beautiful. Yeah, loved every second of it.
Man, that's awesome. So what about your clan life before? Have you been part of any clans before, like in any kind of formal way?
No, I mean, like I said, I think I was too young to join any clan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were that young.
Yeah, so mostly just SSG through and through, and then I jump over and play with the TTL guys quite a bit because there's a lot more of them into the battle royales right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
So that's kind of PUBG got me started hanging out with TTL guys.
I gotcha. If you can remember your first impressions of SSG, how did we impress you? Because you obviously impressed us.
I think it was just because I feel like I have a strategic mind, and I kind of always have, and maybe that comes from playing, football and sports and stuff. But I remember back playing like Halo 2, it was nice that we all had roles. So we jump into a game of like, big team battle or whatever, and the entire team knows what their role is. So we just steamrolled other teams all the time because you got your guys sniping, got your guys rolling people over with warthogs and ghosts and stuff. And
Jay, we need to bring those back.
Trust me, we actually had a plan.
yeah, that was
Or at least some kind of organization.
yeah. It's just refreshing that it's like I know as soon as the game starts, I'm gonna go jump on the warthog and just lay people out. And so
It is.
to me, that's
I
just
love
refreshing.
that structure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do miss it. That Mania. The problem is there's not any games where it'd be super relevant still. I don't know. Irish, do you think now in like, the Call of Duty or maybe somewhat in the multiplayer? Like I feel like in some of the capture point games, maybe you could have some offense defense players and things like that. But even in battle royale, I don't think because everybody wants to stick together for the most part. So it's hard to kind of assign roles to people.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it could be. I mean, I have a group of guys that I play with that are. I mean, I think Dez used to be in SSG a little bit. I don't know if that name rings a bell,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
we kind of have a little group of friends that aren't really in any clan that I play with. Me and Jake both play with, and we kind of have it down pat when we play like team deathmatch. It's like we know how to kind of cover all the different running lanes, and we usually steamroll teams. And so I think it's not necessarily like role based, but it's just like knowledge based. Like I know if I come here and I cover these 2 points of entrance, like nobody's gonna come and lay our whole team out from behind.
Right. And then when you get the experience, I mean, there's a little bit of a language that, you and your brother probably have where it's unspoken.
Yeah.
He sees that you got those 2 doors, so he's going to grab, the hallway on the other side or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been playing with him for so long. I know he's kind of like a sit in the back, snipe, and keep things covered type of person. I don't even have to I jump into a game, him, I know exactly how he's going to play.
Oh, for sure. What's your most memorable time? And SSG or gaming in general?
I mean, probably how it started, and really kind of where I got my love for it was I feel like me and Jake have always had a really good relationship, and when he was actually at college and first married, he used to invite me up, and I'd stay over at his house, and we'd stay up all night playing games together, and that's how I, initially got introduced to everybody, and so I think for me, like, that kind of resonates and gives me nostalgia. It's just like, pulling the all-nighters with him, and that's kind of why, we keep playing. It's not all-nighters anymore, but...
Yeah, for sure, man. That was probably the most wholesome answer you could have gave. Seeing the brotherly love is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think I missed. I have a lot of friends. Unfortunately, none that I don't think are in the clan. But I've got a lot of friends that went to proper 4-year colleges, and the stories they have of like playing in the dorms, right? Like the Halo 1, Halo 2 LAN parties, or just all that kind of stuff. Because you've always got all hours of the day, you've got somebody to play with, which just seems like amazing.
Yeah, and the funny thing is even though I did grow up kind of as a jock, actually at my high school, it was probably the jocks that were the most like nerdy ass kids you could imagine. We were the ones that we'd always have, the Halo LAN party, typically at my house, where everyone would bring over a TV and an Xbox, and we'd hook it up, and after our football games or whatever, going out on dates, we'd always be like, all right, everyone's getting online, right? Everyone's meeting up, we're gonna play games.
That's what's up. Sure. I mean, if you want to talk about nerdy, do you have any other nerdy hobbies? I mean, there's a lot out there. I got card games like Magic the Gathering or tabletop.
Yeah, I'm a big D&D player right now. I actually just started a new campaign with the group I've been playing for like 6 years with.
Nice. A lot of our members are into D&D, and I just mentioned in the Discord chat that I'd be willing to start something up once I'm done with my current campaign I'm running. But
yeah,
if anybody listening, or Irish, if you want to, feel free to run it. I mean, a lot of us want to play for sure.
Yeah, that thread got a lot of traction, so I think there's a bunch of people interested.
Yeah, there definitely is. So, have you had a chance to meet anybody other than your brother? That's a cheat answer. You can't say that.
No, actually, I haven't had a chance to hit up to any of the lands. I think there was one in Vegas, right? Like a year or two ago.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was our last one.
Yeah, that was the one I was like heavily considering going to, but it just, I don't know, life got crazy, and so I decided not to make the trip. Because, I mean, that's not that bad from Utah to Vegas.
They're hard to commit to because, there's a lot of planning and you have to commit early.
Yeah.
And, anything can happen at that point. And then it's a matter of, if you already put money into it. So it's definitely hard to commit to something like that for sure.
Yeah, it is. Because we've had 4 or 5, and I've only been to 2.5. So.
How do you get half of one?
Well, we had like a second mini one in St. Louis.
Yeah,
you were there.
I was that one.
You were the half.
That was. That's right. Ain't no land like a Mania land, right?
Oh man, yeah, Mania and Heathen and his wife came up for I don't even know what you guys were up there for.
I think
were they driving through or something or driving? I don't remember.
No, so. The Heathens used to live in Chicago, which is like a day trip from me, and we, Dan, Heather, and I, we were talking about me making a trip down to Chicago, and Irish and Grant got a hold of that information, and they were like, well, why don't we just, make it like a little mini land, which is, we said, sure, because Irish and Grant were there, you were 20 minutes away, so that's what we did. I went to Chicago, picked them up, and we made an 8-hour drive down to Missouri.
Yeah, that was nice. So we have 2 Irishes, not to be confusing.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
we
something.
Have the IrishFighter, the interviewee today, and then we have a female Irish who is married to SSG. I am Grant. So.
Right. But this isn't about her or our half of the land.
And in my defense, I was the OG Irish.
You were 100%. Speaking of OG, what's that first game console you played?
Ooh, first game console, probably Nintendo 64.
Oh, getting that GoldenEye in there?
Yeah, man. GoldenEye, Zelda.
Is that it? I'm not going to lie. There was a guilty pleasure on the N64, Pokemon Snap.
Oh, yeah.
That was my shit.
Loved a Pokemon Stadium too. That was good.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I think that was the first one I remember. I don't really remember playing many of the Pokemon games, but I remember that being just such a big deal when it came out, the Stadium game.
So,
Yeah, it was the first 3D battler for Pokemon, at least.
Plus,
Was it set just in a stadium, like were all the fights in a stadium? Okay.
plus, I think if I remember right, you could battle your Pokemon from your Game Boy. They had like a little attachment for the controller.
They've had several weird attachments to like. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how you currently can still take a Game Boy Advanced Pokemon and then there's some kind of adapter to like the GameCube and then you can do it online and then somehow get it to the Switch. There's like 4 things you have to do and the internet is involved and you can bring your Pokemon all the way from like the Game Boy Advanced. Insane.
That sounds way too convoluted these days. I remember one of the best ones was on the Sega Genesis, and I'm pretty sure it's just the Genesis for Sonic the Hedgehog, where Sonic the Hedgehog 2 had this flap on top of the cartridge. You could plug another game into it.
What?
Yeah, 100%, and it looked really weird. And if you plugged in the game Sonic and Knuckles, you could actually play as Knuckles in Sonic 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. But we don't see much of that anymore. I think the closest we have now is what you talked with Jay, and it's super long and convoluted. Either way, I mean, Irish N64 is always great to start off with. What's your starting point now? You know, you get home from a long day to yesterday, today, and you want to play some games. What are you playing on?
Probably just hop onto the Xbox and play some Warzone. I feel like mostly jumping on there and playing with the TTL guys a lot. I know Cyber plays. But Battle Royales, I feel like, kind of get my juices going just because it feels like higher stakes, right?
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Apex Legends?
I have played it for a long time. I think I put a good 1.5 2 years into it.
Oh, for sure. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah. So I feel like once Call of Duty kind of came out, that was where I really kind of bailed off of Apex and then got into the multiplayer. And then once they came out with Warzone, it was kind of like game over for Apex for me.
No, I got you on that. Do you prefer the standard Battle Royale, or are you under like J-Man's wing with like in the plunder mode?
I can do both. I don't mind plunder at all. Like I still think it's fun. I think it's good if you get a good group of guys together. But primarily, I think Battle Royale for me is kind of where I really sit.
Yeah, I think that game is really, I've spoken on it before, but it's really brought a lot of SSG people together again, which is nice. I mean, even speaking of the three of us, right? Like the three of us have played together, which I don't know the last time the three of us have played, right? Probably Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
so
while.
it's nice that Call of Duty has been able to unify our clan to some degree, at least back on some type of game. I mean, the cross-platform nature and certainly being free really helps with all that. So that's been awesome.
Yeah, I feel like the cross-platform was really kind of a game changer because there's, like I mentioned, the group of guys like Des and them that I hadn't played with for a bit because they all switched to mostly PC. But it's because it's on PC too. It just really kind of makes it available to everyone.
Oh,
Right.
for
Are you
sure.
playing on PC at all, or do you have a PC that you made?
I got a PC. It's my wife's that she uses for video editing. So it's plenty capable. But
Yeah.
I still mostly am drawn to console just out of habit.
Yeah. It's still my primary. I mean, I've got a ridiculous amount of stuff. I've got a decent gaming PC, and then I've got an Xbox and a PlayStation and a Switch and a Stadia. It's like all this stuff, but Xbox is still my favorite for the parties, the voice chat, the game invites, like everything about the Xbox UI and UX. I feel like is just the best.
Yeah.
After using all the different ones.
Yeah, I can get behind that
So-
one myself.
So you said you were married. How long have you been married for?
We got married last February, not this past February, but the previous one, so about 1.5 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice. I heard from your brother that you're building a house too.
We are building the house. Yep. Should be done here in about a month. So,
Oh, it's coming up.
yep. We're right now we're looking for a renter to rent our townhouse out. That way we can close on our actual house, and then we should be good to go.
Are you gonna keep the other property around as like a rental property? You think? Or are you
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
think that's kind of our plan. Is that
let it go?
because our next house is like more of a cottage house, so a little bit smaller of a lot, smaller of a house in general, and so we're looking to kind of keep all of our houses and just kind of move up slowly.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's a pretty sweet way to do it. If because then you kind of always have that income. As long as the other property is somewhat stable and you don't have to do a whole bunch of work on it. Like it's really nice, and especially when you get good renters in there. Like I've got a couple friends that do that, and they're like, it's just awesome money because we have these renters that are great. You really enjoy having them, and so it's just kind of a win-win for both people.
Yeah, and then it just speaks for itself once it pays itself off, and then you're just raking in dough later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have to work for it?
Pretty sweet. So speaking of work, what do you do for a living?
So I do digital marketing. I'm a digital marketing manager for a property management software company. So, if anybody in SSG rents, you might use our company, Notre, for their payment processing and lots of other stuff.
Oh, so you're just like perfect for the renting business then, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it. I'm still hiring a property management company to handle it for me. That way I can be completely hands off and I don't have to really do much with it.
Yeah. So they do all the maintenance and stuff then? Is that
Yeah,
what they
basically, as I've been talking to my guy, basically they just give you like a monthly call and they just say, hey, this is what's happened at your property, this is what's going on. Nothing's happened this month, you don't have to pay anything. Or, this broke, we had to pay $300 to fix it. And then I just, fork over $300. But they basically handle it. That way there's kind of a barrier between you and the renter, and you don't have to have much engagement with them.
So do they handle like liability and stuff then too?
Yep.
Like if they screw something up, I guess?
Yep, that's kind of the benefit of it is you as the owner,
Nice.
You aren't liable for nearly as much as you would be if you were directly handling it.
Yo, how do I get part of this? That sounds amazing.
It's cheaper than I thought it was. It's only 8% of the rent every month.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so,
Wow.
me and my wife, we're still going to cash flow a good amount of money off of it. So we're pretty excited.
Oh, for sure. We need another housing bubble then.
Yeah, there you go. So how was the process to like building and picking the house out? Like was it did you find it fun or enjoyable, or was it a pain?
No,
Did you and your wife like
ours is pretty straightforward.
get along with it?
Yeah, we got along pretty well with it. It's pretty straightforward though, because the builder we chose doesn't really allow a lot of customization. And so it's basically just you pick your lot and how they have, predefined which lot gets which floor plan. And so we said we want these 3 lots if, one of them becomes available, and they called us back a week later and we're like, yep, this one's available if you guys want it.
Do you at least get to choose countertops or cabinets or, the inside stuff?
So that's part of like choosing which lot, because they already predefine it, which lot gets what. And so we kind of were like, we like this, this, and this, and they were like, okay, these lots have those options. And basically the reason why they do it is so they can chew them out super fast. Like this builder is finishing houses,
Right.
Twice as fast as I've heard other builders around the area finishing their houses.
Oh, well, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I was thinking about building one myself, but the cost, from what I was seeing, at least in Michigan, I don't know where it is, it was like $122 a square foot. And right then I knew I was going to bite off more than I can chew personally. So congratulations on you being able to get it done. That's really awesome. However, quick change of subject because I love this question.
Oh, yeah.
What are your guilty pleasures?
Ooh, guilty pleasures.
I know. Nobody likes saying them.
Love me some Taylor Swift. That's a guilty pleasure.
Oh, I can get behind that. J-Man, are you a Taylor Swift guy? Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
You can't have a bad day when Shake It Off comes on. I don't care who you are. All right, you're driving into work and that song comes on. It's done. It is what it is.
It's a good day right there. My wife gives me crap about it all the time. I don't care. Love it.
Yeah, I'm big into music, and so I like pretty much everything from pop and rock and country and everything other than like kind of like death metal stuff. I've always been big into music, and so it's funny because my wife is not into music at all, and neither is my daughter, and my 5-year-old son loves it. And like a song I'll play like a rap song or a pop song, come on, he'll start like shaking his head and he'll be like moving his arms, and my wife will just look at me and she'll just kind of shake her head. I'm like, hey, he's got it. He's got the moves. I don't know what to tell you.
The genes carried
Some
over.
people are born with it.
I know. So some people are born with it. So Irish, if you were stuck on a desert island, is there a specific Taylor Swift album you would bring, or is there something else you would bring with you to occupy your time?
I'll give you three things.
Three things. Oh, for sure, gotta take a Taylor Swift album. I mean, man, they're all good. Probably I like Red. Red was a good one.
You see, you got me on that one. I don't know their album name, so I'm gonna say that is also a good album.
Two other things. I love Lord of the Rings, so I'd probably bring Lord of the Rings, give those a good read.
Oh, okay.
And then probably something to watch the whole all of Star Wars.
Like prequels and sequels?
Everything, yeah. I mean,
do you have a
originals, obviously, but I love it all. So,
prequels get a lot of shit, and I'm gonna lose some credibility. They're my favorite.
Oh,
you can laugh at me all you want. All right, but like the originals were great. I just don't think I was old enough to really appreciate them when they came out.
Yeah.
So I really think that's where it came from. But there was a lot wrong with it, but I think there was a lot of stuff cool with it. So
yeah, I just started watching them again with my kids, and so we finished the originals, and then we just watched Phantom Menace. And my daughter, I was really curious to see what the kids were gonna think about Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And about halfway through, my daughter was like, "Is he supposed to be funny?" She's 8, and I was like,
"Yeah, I understand that one."
Nobody really knows, and I was like, "But that you could essentially do the whole movie without him, and everything would be just fine."
Yeah, that's true. There's a theory out there that he's actually a Sith.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And that's my headcanon now. And that might be why I like the prequel so much, because it makes it 10 times more interesting.
Yeah, that he's like some dark Sith Lord. That's so funny.
Yeah, for sure.
The funny thing is, there's a class in D&D where you're like a monk, but you act like a drunk, clumsy monk, and everyone just thinks you're the drunk, clumsy monk. But he has all these class abilities that revolve around.
Yeah, this is 5th edition you're talking.
Yeah, 5th edition.
It's Drunken Master, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
One of my buddies, he shared that with me, and he compared. He's like, "Yeah, man, Jar Jar makes sense. He's just the drunken master."
There is I think it's Jackie Chan. I think Jackie Chan, either one or a bunch of his movies where he actually plays like a drunken kung fu guy, and it is amazing. I mean, he's amazing anyway, but he acts like he's all out of it and drunk, and he's doing his amazing flips and kicks and all sorts of stuff, all his practical stunts. It's
I think
amazing.
There's at least 2 of them, if I can recall. Legend of the Drunken Master, or Drunken Fist, or something like that. And it's Kung Pao Enter the Fist, I believe, was influenced by it. Or was that a completely different game? Maybe. In that game. Movie. We're talking about movies, guys. Damn, seriously. Get on the same level.
But yeah, so those are probably my 3 things.
Yeah. So, as far as your gaming history goes, so what do you think, that you would consider that's something you're most proud of, right? That you just treasure, or think is one of just your most proudest gaming moments that you've had?
Honestly, I think probably the reason why I'm drawn to battle royales is, I was talking to Mania a bit before, is just the feeling you get when you win, right? Back in PUBG, you get a chicken dinner or whatever, and it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It literally just pops up on the screen, chicken winner chicken dinner. But it's just fulfilling to know that you beat out 100 other people. And so I think that's kind of why I love battle royale so much. Is just you're literally just outperforming other people.
Yeah, and the first one you get is so satisfying. That very first, mine was in PUBG, and I got the chicken dinner, and I was playing for maybe 6 months before I got my first win in that game. And it was so satisfying. So I can respect that being one of your proudest moments, for sure.
Yeah. So I think...
Where did the chicken dinner thing come from? Where did that phrase come from? Do we know?
And I have no idea.
I can't say I know for sure, but I want to say there was a popular streamer that whenever he won a game, he said he got chicken dinner.
I know it's a gambling
Don't quote me
thing.
on that.
I mean, if you've ever seen 21.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what it's from.
Yeah, I might be way off base on that one. Either way, Irish, where do you see gaming going these days? I mean, we got things like VR's taken off, augmented reality kind of died off, but I mean that is what it is. Where do you see it going? Especially seeing they're starting to announce things for the next generation, which I'm sure we're all excited about.
I mean, I'm a Ready Player One fan, so I'd be a fan if things headed that direction. Maybe not to the negative extent.
Yeah, for sure. That's it.
I don't know. I feel like technology is just crazy. I mean, working in tech, I see all the different technology companies and stuff that sprout up around here in Utah, and it's just, I mean, it honestly could just go wherever. I mean, AI is insane, and so who knows?
Sure.
I think sky's the limit, really.
No, it makes sense. That's the point of technology, right? To open up the skies.
So you live in Utah now?
Yep.
Is that where you've lived your whole life then?
I was originally born in the Marshall Islands. Lived there till I was 3, so I don't remember much about it. And then we moved, here to Utah. So I've pretty much been here.
Yeah, when we talked to Jake, he was telling us about growing up with the on the Marshall Islands with the was it missile base or something like that was there?
Yeah, it's like a missile testing range. I think for our intercontinental ballistic missiles. I think they launch them from wherever they want to launch them from, and they track them out there with a big radar station that's on the island.
I mean, that seems like a pretty cool place to grow up. But I guess you were only 3, so you might not remember the whole thing.
I didn't do much growing up there. Mostly just learning how to talk and walk.
Oh man. So we talked about kind of where you live and where you at least were born. So what about traveling now? So if you could do any traveling, is there places you'd still like to go?
Yeah, so my wife,
in the U.S. or otherwise?
Yeah, my wife's from Seattle. We're actually heading up there on Wednesday. We're driving up. But love the Pacific Northwest. Obviously, I mentioned I lived there for a couple of years for my mission, and that was a blast. Mm-hmm. But really kind of thoroughly enjoy the Pacific Northwest.
Is it because of Starbucks?
Not quite. Mostly just the temperature and the environment. It's really lush. So for me, it's just incredibly beautiful up there. Me and my wife, we've been to Cannon Beach a couple times.
Where is that at?
It's up in Oregon. It's just like this little town that's on the coast, and it's really beautiful. And we usually just get like an Airbnb and go stay up there for a few days.
Nice. Do you have any water hobbies then?
I grew up sailing. Haven't really done it in recent years with my dad. My dad had a sailboat.
Manny is a bit of a sailor too.
A
Yeah.
little bit, but not in real life. It's a Sea of Thieves. Maybe piracy is considered sailing? I don't know.
Maybe frowned upon.
There's something to be said about the anarchy on seas, though. Maybe we need to start implementing something like that. However, let's be real here. There's pirates in real life now. You don't hear much about them because they're not very ubiquitous. They're nothing like they were in the days. They're nothing like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're on motorboats. They wear normal clothes. They have guns. It's not cool anymore. It's just
there's no chivalry code or anything. There's no piracy code.
Can't parlay your way to safety today.
No.
Yeah.
So.
I demand to talk to the captain.
I'm the captain now.
Oh man. So sailing a boat, that seems so scary to me. Like, is it something you could still do today, you think?
I don't think so. It's been long enough that I don't think I could. I think it'd take a bit of practice to get back into it. At the time, I was actually pretty decent at it. I mean, my dad could let me go out on my own, and it was
nice.
A big deal. But yeah, that was probably once or twice he let me do that.
So curious question, because I've always been curious personally. Sailing, you need the wind in your sails. That's correct to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So big ships, at least, or even small ships, if the wind's going against your sails, does the boat still move forward?
You just
that could be
it.
Well,
you can sail kind of. Yeah, you can sail kind of into the wind, but at like a slight angle, and then you just angle your sails.
So you just have to put up with not being able to go into a straight line if that's how the wind's doing.
Yeah, and it's you don't go as fast, but
Right.
you can still get moving.
I guess that makes sense. I was just curious because, as Jay brought up and we talked about for a quick second, I really like Sea of Thieves, and I'm sailing into the wind going, 2 inches a minute. And I always think about, like, how do big
That's
ships...
a technical term.
Yeah, that's exactly a technical term.
2 inches a minute. It's a very nautical term.
Actually, I think it's like 2 inches a minute per minute or something like that. I don't know. Actually, that's the formula for acceleration. Never mind. Means I'll be going faster. So, but either way, like, it's always something that's been curious, and I've never had the opportunity to look it up, but you answered it for me, so thank you.
Yeah, I don't know the technical term for it off the top of my head, but yeah, it is possible, and you definitely do go slower.
So, what we briefly talked about the next gen console stuff here. So, we just had the Sony press conference. So at this point, we've had the hardware reveal for the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and then we've had the game reveals for each system as well. So is it safe to say that, Irish, you're gonna be sticking with the Xbox, I guess, or are you even gonna get the next one?
I mean, I'll probably wait a bit because I said, like, you're still gonna be able to play with the Xbox One for a bit, so I'll probably hold off, especially with new house and stuff happening.
So have you seen the new PS5 design?
Yeah, I did.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't particularly care what it looks like.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mostly care how it plays. So
Sure.
I had a PS4 for a bit, didn't love it, and so I ended up just selling it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Different strokes for different folks. Personally, I love the new design of the PlayStation 5 and the Series X too. And they went in completely opposite directions.
Yeah.
Completely opposite. But I still think, they hit the nail on the head, right? Like, PlayStation 5 definitely went that more futuristic in design of aesthetics. And I think they hit it. They're getting a lot of flack, though, from some. And pretty much the exact same verbiage could be said about the Xbox. Like, sure, the memes going around like, it looks like a refrigerator, but the simplicity behind it also really kind of gets me going a bit. I think they're both really good systems. I'm excited to see what they'll bring out. Are you looking forward to? Is there any game that you're looking forward to?
Not right now. I haven't really been looking into. I feel like I've been comfortable with what I have, and so I haven't really been looking to expand into a new game yet. So, I mean, maybe if Warzone gets less fun or they release an update and it kind of pisses me off or something, who's to say? But
yeah. And plus, you're in the middle of building the house, so I mean, kind of busy.
Yep. So, I feel like things are kind of on hold right now as far as buying new gaming platforms or anything like that, or new games in general.
Yeah. So, what's your internet going to look like at this new house? Is it going to be better or worse? The same?
I think it's the same. It's the same. We have Xfinity here, and I think it's just the same Xfinity there. However, they do have it wired up for fiber optic. If a fiber optic company comes in, which is nice, so they don't have to do any additional work in the community. They just literally come in and activate it.
Yeah, that's nice, because that's usually the prohibitive factor. When as these cable and data companies come in, they might only get to the subdivision before yours, or even half of a subdivision, and it's going to cost them 30, 40, 50 grand to lay all of the infrastructure if they want to get to the rest of that community, or they want to get further out. So they always want to gauge the interest to make sure there's enough people that would sign up if they put that big investment in. So it's nice that, like, the builder is gonna take a bit of that ahead of it for them, which is really nice, because then like you said, once the fiber company comes in, a lot of it's already laid for them, which is sweet.
Yeah, I know a lot of companies also do exclusivity deals. So, like, they say, yeah, we'll lay down this wire or this fiber optics, but everybody in this community should be on our service for like 5 years. I know that's an option.
I can appreciate that they did it beforehand, this builder. So hopefully,
So
maybe in a year or so, we'll see some fiber optic come in and see it improve.
Yeah, we still need a bunch of we still need diversification in our ISPs. Like, basically most people pick between their cable company and their phone company, to this point, which it's like, which one sucks less, basically, which company, so it's always a discussion, like with my computer company, and when I talk to clients and they're having complaints about the internet. I'm like, well, let's go with this company because they suck less than the other company that you have to choose from. So we'll see if this promise of 5G is going to make any kind of difference. I still can't imagine that it would, because it's still going to be tied to your cell data and that kind of stuff. So I don't know that. I'm sure they're going to have data caps and all that kind of stuff, where traditional ISPs don't typically have data caps, or at least they don't have it in my area.
Lucky.
Have you run into? I mean, I guess maybe we do, but I've never run into it, and I do a lot of downloading and streaming and stuff. So you run into it before, Mania?
Yeah. So I have Xfinity as well, and Irish, I don't know if the data cap is imposed on your area, but for mine, we get a terabyte download a month, which you can kind of see the argument that you're never going to hit it, right? But I've hit it before. Mm-hmm. And they give you a little email and they say, hey, you went over your data cap. And they give you like 1, maybe 2 months of like leniency. So the email essentially says, hey, you're over, you got another month left to do this again. But after that, it's going to be like some crazy $10 for every 50 gigs over or something. The only reason I don't like it is because if you're going to impose a cap on something that doesn't really affect people, all you're doing is testing the market to lower it down, in my opinion. And that's why I'm not a fan.
Yeah, well, and especially something, I mean, it's not free for them, right? But it's just bits. Like, it doesn't, if there was a day that went by where you used 0 internet or used, 500 gigs, they're not really going to notice a difference, on their systems. Like, it's just, it seems almost like an arbitrary limit, like you're saying, maybe to just, so they can set some different tiers, to see where all the customers average out, and then they can maybe go back and then, make a couple different plans with different tiers and things like that.
Yeah, and I'll say the saving grace right now is it's been a few years since Xfinity started implementing this, and they haven't done anything with it yet. So they haven't, at least from what I can tell, they haven't done the tiered system or what have you. And some good news, they did lift it during like the first 3 months of the pandemic that's currently going down. So I don't think they're really trying to harm anybody. I do think they're just looking at different business models, but they haven't found anything to settle on yet.
Yeah, I feel like if they changed anything too drastic, they'd piss a lot of people off. So
yeah, especially seeing so many people are stuck with Xfinity.
Yeah.
That's what Xfinity is known for. Just everybody loves them. That's what they're known for.
That's exactly it. But I mean, I can't complain. I have their phone service too, so but it runs off of Verizon. So
yeah, they have like an MVMO or something off of Verizon.
Mm-hmm. It's nice because it saves me $20 off the line charge for every phone that I have.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Mm-mm. So Irish, with as Mania had mentioned, with the pandemic, the COVID-19 going on, were you working from home, or what happened with your work with all that?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully I do digital marketing, so I can pretty much do it from anywhere. So they basically just told us all go work from home. And I mean, software company in general that works entirely on the internet. They were like, yep, just everyone work from home, take your computer home. So I haven't really been that affected. And then just recently, Utah has kind of been one of the states opening back up. So now we kind of have the choice if we want to go into the office or not. And it's nice because I live about 5 minutes away from the office. So I can just jump in my car and head over if I don't feel like I'm being terribly productive from home. Or if I want to just stay home and do whatever and putter around the house, I can do that too.
Yep, take your pants off, Mania style, work from home.
That's not how you do it.
Yeah, man, business up top.
That's right. For the webcam.
Yep, party down below.
Exactly. Now, I will say, when I work from home, because I'm in the same situation, if I have a meeting or something, 100%, I'm fully clothed as if I am in the office. And everybody's like, why would you do that? Just wear PJs or
Liar.
something. Nope, I guarantee you I am, because I have seen too many videos of people wearing like a nice shirt and a blazer, and then they have to get up and they stand up in their boxer shorts and stuff. I've seen it too much. It's not happening to me.
That's so funny.
And I check I check my mute and I check my camera like 20 times before I do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's I'm a paramedic, so I can't do anything remote. So we've clearly had to go in the whole time. But
Yeah.
I really feel for these people that have to work from home or deal with like Zoom meetings, 5 days a week. It doesn't sound like fun.
It's exhausting for sure.
Yeah.
At least from my aspect.
The one thing my company, they have like a check-in every morning at 8 a.m., which kind of pisses me off because it's literally just like,
Making sure you're
awake?
working.
What are you guys doing today? This? Great. Bye.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you can after your state opens up more?
Honestly, like I'm big into food, so I love going and like eating out and just like trying good restaurants. And I had just done like a little pizza crawl through Utah, trying all the good pizza places that we have.
Oh, nice.
And so I got a couple left on my list, and so I want to go hit those places up once we can start. I mean, we can go get takeout right now, but...
Oh, for sure. Yeah, now you brought up pizza, so obviously the logical question is going to be pineapple. Does it belong on pizza?
No.
Okay. I'm right there with you. I don't know who is actually a pineapple lover. Like, I see them on forums, but I don't know if they're true.
They're like the Yeti.
You
don't know if they really exist.
Exactly. They're just bots. That's all they are.
Just misinformation bots talking about all the pineapple.
It's fake news.
I do love pineapple, but I have not had it on any pizza.
It gets a lot of flack, and it's not my favorite, and I'm going to say it doesn't belong on pizza, but, like, there's worse things on pizza, like anchovies.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah, anchovies. I used to work at a pizza place here, and every once in a while you'd get somebody that would order anchovies, and I was a delivery driver, so I was never really, like, making pizzas, but, man, when they'd open that, like, little sardine jar thing and, like, get the anchovies, like, oh, my God, it's so gross.
Did your car ever smell like anchovies?
Oh, yeah, because, like, we had, like, little bags that you put the pizzas in to keep them warm, like, the whole restaurant, and then you got that pizza bag. Like, it was gross.
Oh, my goodness.
For sure.
I have only ever seen anchovies on a pizza once, and I don't even want to hear anybody else say it. Like, I don't understand how somebody can think that's good.
Yeah, man.
But there's people.
Good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
No, I feel like I'm a classic cheese, pepperoni olive. I love like what's it called? With the basil and the like whole mozzarella. I forget what.
Oh.
Well, now I can't say I'm a pizza foodie anymore. I can't even name a pizza.
I'm more of just a meat guy. I'm not a fan of veggies on my pizza. They can be good, but give me some pepperoni and sausage. Very basic.
Classic. Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, I do not like cold pizza. I'm not a cold pizza guy.
Fun fact, if you want to reheat it, fry it. 100% put it in a fry pan.
Oh, my wife does. We have a toaster oven, so she likes to put it in the toaster oven or the regular oven too. But yeah, frying. So does it just get? I mean, obviously, I guess it goes through, but it gets the bottom crispy. I guess is the big point there.
Yeah, it gets the bottom crispy, and the heat will warm up everything else.
So what I actually figured out is if you just take your oven when it's cold, throw your pizza on a pan, and throw it in the oven and heat it up to like 400, and then by the time it's done preheating, it's perfect temperature.
Oh, that's a good measurement too.
And it's crispy.
I got you.
All right, guys, I'm gonna spitball. I got an idea. The Irish J-Man Mania Pizza Podcast. I say we just quit this SSG podcast. We just
60 minutes of pizza right now.
Yeah, I'll just bring in a pizza we made that day and give it a shot.
Right. I mean, it's gonna have to be a video show, I think.
Oh yeah.
We can just trash talk anchovy pizza all day long.
Why isn't this a thing?
Oh man.
God, Zach Galifianakis has Between Two Ferns. We can have Between Two Pizzas.
There you go.
Between the slices.
The crust.
That's exactly it. I mean, since we're on the topic of food, why not? Let's keep going. Irish, you got a favorite food, or actually, hold up, I take that back. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Ooh man, ice cream. Ice cream is my jam. I can polish off a gallon in at least a day or two.
Have you heard of Superman ice cream?
I have not.
Ooh,
All
what's
right,
that?
so I keep getting told this is a Michigan only ice cream thing.
Yeah.
but I don't know how true that is because I am in Michigan. I don't see it outside. Either way, it's... I don't know how to explain it. It's like Neapolitan in the fact that there's multiple colors. So there's blue, there's yellow, there's red. Maybe green.
Superman colors.
Yeah, right? Maybe a little bit of green. And it tastes...
Maybe green comes from the yellow and the blue mixing.
You know what? You're making sense. It tastes like Blue Moon, but slightly different. And it's...
Beer?
No, Blue Moon ice cream.
Oh, I've never had that.
You've never had Blue Moon? I mean, it's literally just blue ice cream, and it tastes like Blue Moon. I don't know. Same thing with Superman. It has this indistinguishable taste. I've never seen somebody describe it in a way that I could say, yeah, it does taste like that. Either way,
does it lean like a little fruity, though? Because we got something here in Utah that's called Play-Doh ice cream. And it sounds kind of like what you're describing, but it's like...
Oh, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, I would say it leans a little fruity. I don't know if I'd say it that way, though. But, yeah. No. Let's go with that. Either way, it's probably one of my favorites. And I love it because it makes me feel like a kid. That's just me. Or Ben and Jerry's. And I'll eat a pint myself.
Oh, man. Well, I think we definitely have our next show, guys. We gotta have a food show. I think that's gonna be it.
That's the next step, man. That's where we're gonna go next.
Let me know.
We got it. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there with the end of our food show, because I think we would probably go on for another hour talking about all the wonderful foods we like to eat and not eat. So, thank you everybody for listening, Irish. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, thank you, Irish.
Maniac, for coming and stepping in, man.
Anytime.
Good to chat with you.
I love doing it.
All right, guys. Well, we will talk to you in the next episode. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.